Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to another awesome week of preparation with me, Tremaine, and in today's analysis, guys, we're going to go through 6 different pairs. So we're going to go through the DXY, Aussie CAD, Aussie Swiss franc, Aussie yen, New Zealand dollar CAD, and New Zealand dollar JPY. Now to start things off, guys, we're going to get into some DXY. Now on the DXY, guys, we'll just keep to the 4 hour just because we've done some previous analysis on the DXY. What we have noticed here with our previous analysis on the DXY, let's just get our drawing tool, is that we had this market that previously had tested this area as support, then as resistance. Hence, this is an important swap area of, I guess, where we'd be looking for those reactions. So on the 4 hour, what we can see, most recent price action is that we've broken nice and impulsively to the upside, obviously violating our previous resistance areas and this important swap level, and now we are coming back to that area in a corrective manner. So if we look at the most recent price action, guys, what we will see is a corrective structure. So we do see prices correcting to the downside and then finding support there, pushing up, coming back, finding some more support. So what we can see from a 4 hour perspective is that price has given us equal lows. So what we can also derive from this information is that price really hasn't tapped into the area or the zone that we were looking for price to tap into, and we have created some equal lows before that structure. So what does this mean for us? This means that we should be exercising cautions right now, looking for any potential risk entries. So what we should be waiting for is, because we're at support, guys, we're looking for some dollar strength. So to be able to find a tradable opportunity or a guarantee on this dollar strength, what we would need to see is for prices, we have important resistance, we have important support over there. What we would need to see first of all, guys, is for prices to break to the upside and then come back, give us a nice retest. Obviously, whatever additional confluences will be added, and then we look for some upside. If we do not see prices breaking, closing above, obviously pushing away from our level of structure, then coming back and respecting, showing signs of rejections, and then momentum shifts away from our support area, what we will wait for, guys, is we do have equal lows here, and I will be waiting for these equal lows to be taken out first and for price to tap into my area and to then give me the structures that I'm looking for, which are obviously bullish bias structures. So guys, we're going to remain bullish, expecting some dollar strength. Either wait for prices to come down into the zone that we were looking for, or we wait for prices to break, push away from structure, then give us that retest of structure, followed by some upside continuation. So that's simply what we're looking for, guys, on DXY. We're looking for that dollar strength to kind of just follow through over the course of next week. We're obviously now just waiting for a setup that will give us reason to take any dollar strength trades. So that's our analysis on the DXY, guys. Let's go on to our pairs. We'll start off with Aussie CAD. Now on Aussie CAD, guys, we'll hop up to the daily just for a second and discuss our daily structure first. Now what we will see over here on Aussie CAD is that we still do have this important support structure over here, where prices previously found some support and were able to violate to the upside some previous important resistance. So we do know that this is an important support structure. What we have here on our most recent price action is this nice descending structure. We know descending structures normally break to the upside. We also have our first touch, our second touch, and our third touch as confirmation on this descending structure. So what we've been looking for, guys, looking at our most recent structure and our most recent price action, what we can tell about this trend, guys, is that this trend is still a bearish trend. We still have prices coming in from the upside, creating support, creating resistance, creating support, creating resistance, creating support. So we still have prices creating us those lower highs, and obviously these lower lows. We most recently had a higher low, but we can't confirm this as a higher low unless these previous resistance areas are then violated to the upside, and then we will be able to, I guess, conclude that we've seen our sign of strength and that we could be expecting some bullish momentum from Aussie CAD, especially from that higher time frame. But if we go down onto the 4 hour, guys, what we will notice about structure is that we've had this descending structure over here. We've had prices come up to the upside, show us our sign of strength. We had this corrective structure, expected some downside into our support structures where we were looking for a larger time frame head and shoulder structure to play out. Now what we can see when prices did get to this area, we've had one rejection. We've obviously seen prices push away from that level of structure, come back, again show some signs of rejection, and then push away from this level of structure. We can also, guys, conclude that we've had or rather that we've seen prices coming in from the upside, establishing support, establishing resistance. We have new lower lows in this area, so obviously establishing lower lows, giving us a potential head, and then we obviously have the potential to come and complete that right shoulder before we see that upside momentum. What I can say about this pair, especially if we go down onto an even smaller time frame like the 1 hour, is that we do have some important structural areas over here. So what I will be also in addition waiting for is to see how prices do treat these previous resistance structures. Though I won't necessarily be looking for prices to terminate at this resistance, though how I will be approaching this pair is understanding that this whole area, or let's just hop back up to the H4 just for this, I'll be understanding that this whole area was treated as some sort of a reaccumulation, and I would expect prices to terminate anywhere within this structure or within this zone. So as long as we are in this zone and as long as we don't violate these lower structures over here, guys, I will be looking for that bullish momentum or that bullish structure to begin to form as long as we're in this area, whether that comes in the form of a reversal structure or if that comes in the form of a descending structure that we understand normally breaks to the upside. Regardless of what, guys, as long as we're inside of this zone, I will be looking, or my eyes will be focused on that bullish momentum. I will still open myself up, guys, to the possibility of completing this inverse head and shoulders for that move to the upside. So obviously maybe expecting prices to terminate below or close below these lower structures and then tap into this zone somewhere here before we see a move to the upside without violating the head of our potential head and shoulders. So I will keep that in mind, guys. I will be looking for some bullish structure as long as we remain above these lower structures here. The moment we break below these lower structures here, then I need to readjust my analysis, probably adapt for the most recent price action and see if there are any other potential buy setups that are forming. If price warrants me to be sell side biased, then I will be sell side biased. But as things stand, guys, we are at higher time frame support. We do have some nice confluences, and also we're waiting on a beautiful extra added piece of confluence for that buying opportunity on Aussie CAD. Now let's go on to the next pair, guys. We're going on to Aussie Swiss franc. On Aussie Swiss franc, guys, we'll just stick to the 4 hour. We'll still be able to analyze and talk about higher time frame structure from here. So we do have this important support area where we saw buyers basically coming in, being able to violate most recent structures and as well as these higher time frame structures over there. What we also can see, guys, if you just focus on our most recent price action, is that we've seen this market basically decelerating towards our support structure. We see corrective price action coming in towards our important support where we expected a bullish reaction. What we've also done is we've isolated our structure, taken into our account our most recent price action, and then basically saw this descending structure that gave us a nice multi-touch over there, first touch, second touch, third touch, and then we see this violation of structure. Now all we are looking for to be able to take a trading opportunity or to be able to capitalize on any further upside that Aussie Swiss franc might give us, guys, is we're looking to trade off structure. So we do have, let's just speak about structure, lows, highs, we have some lows, we have some highs, we have equal lows, I guess we have lower highs, we have lower lows, we have some equal lows to these highs over here, I mean some equal highs to those highs over there. We then finally see prices breaking down, giving us a new lower low structure. So if we look at the structure, these are obviously previous resistance or important resistance areas that market has violated to the upside. So what we could be looking for as traders is for a reaction from this level first. Though obviously this is, or rather price has not pushed away or far enough from this level of structure for this level of structure to be as valid as we would like it to be. So what I would also do, guys, is instead of expecting a termination from this area, I would be expecting prices to come down even lower before we see some bullish upside. Guys, there is some previous structure over here that was resistance that prices have broken by, that obviously most recent structure that price has broken past. So we can expect prices to want to come or to be attracted to this support structure over here. We could also expect structure to come and retest our our resistance trend line that we have running in at the top here. So nonetheless, we will still be looking for those bullish opportunities, those bullish trading opportunities, because we are at higher time frame support structures and we have seen descending structures forming towards these higher time frame supports. We've also seen current downtrends being violated to the upside, and then we're obviously now waiting on a beautiful entry that this market will give us. We just need to wait for that reversal structure or that descending structure or whatever the market is going to give us to be able to allow us to capitalize on any potential buys from these price regions here, guys. So nonetheless, Aussie Swiss franc, guys, we're going to be focused on those bullish structures for the course of next week, expecting some upside obviously to first violate these structural highs here, and then we'll see how far Aussie Swiss franc can go. Though the furthest I'm looking to take Aussie Swiss franc is to these highs over here. So these are the extreme highs that I'm kind of looking for Aussie Swiss franc to play out until. So that's the entry, guys. That's the type of setup that we're going to be looking at. Bullish buys over the course of next week on Aussie Swiss franc. Let's go on to Aussie yen. Now, guys, on Aussie yen, I think let's just hop up to the daily just for a quick second. What we will see on the daily, guys, is prices coming down, obviously, even establishing new lower lows. So we have seen this ascending structure here. We then see a violation of this ascending structure coming down to violate our previous lower structures in that area over there. So we do see prices coming down, poking below these areas here, establishing a new lower low. Now, what we can derive from all of this information is obviously that prices have been showing momentum to the downside. Now, we want to be trading in the direction of higher time frame momentum, and we are clearly seeing daily momentum to the downside. Now, in addition, guys, what we can say, or what I will speak about from, or let's just mention that imbalances that have been created here when we drop down onto the H4. So let's just speak about structure for now on the daily. What we do have here is obviously some structure at the top here. We do see some support structures created there, support created there, and then structures violating to the downside. So we understand that these are important, or our most recent support structures that have been violated nice and impulsively to the downside, that the market can react from if we do see a tap into this resistance area. So that's what we're waiting for. That's how we've kind of marked out and established our important resistance area over there. Let's just go down onto the 4 hour, guys. So on the 4 hour, what we will see is obviously the same resistance structure there. We've just used the most recent price action to just isolate that structure. And then what we can also see from a 4 hour perspective is this break to the downside, obviously area that was tested as support first and then resistance. So very, very important area for the markets to be tapping into. What I did want to mention about imbalance, guys, is that the market on its way to the downside created a ton of imbalance, guys, within this area over here. We also have more imbalance within there. Nonetheless, the point is that market has covered or closed all of the imbalances that it has created on the side over here, on this move to the downside. Hence, also with this move to the upside, market has also created some imbalances within these structural areas there, within these structural areas over there. And I guess that's the imbalances that we have here. So we know that the market is going to want to eventually at some point in time come down, first of all, close all of these imbalances that it has left behind over there. So general movement of the market, guys, we are expecting some downside. We have some confluences of the momentum. We have this ascending structure. Everything is screaming sell side momentum at this point in time. The only thing that does not agree with our bias is the way markets are approaching our resistance. Though we do have our 4-hour beginning to decelerate towards our resistance area. So that's what we're looking for, guys. We're looking for prices to tap into our area to further show us signs of deceleration for us to be able to isolate some nice beautiful structure and be able to decide whether we are looking for a risk entry or a reduced risk entry on this pair. So let's just do this, accommodate for that structure over there. We have some resistance as well that we can tap or that we can draw from. There we go. We have some resistance. So guys, we have this beautiful structure over there. What we can expect is for prices to want to still tap into this resistance structure over there. So maybe play, maybe even violate falsely to the downside and then come and give us this tap in our resistance area. Nonetheless, we're waiting for prices to come into our resistance area, give us a reason to enter this market with a sell, and then we're in on the sell side momentum, guys. So regardless of what happens at this point in time, guys, we are sell bias, or at least I will be sell bias on this pair over the course of next week, just waiting for price to give me a reason to sell this market with the bias or in the direction of the bias that I'd like to hold on this pair, with the reasons that I've established myself, obviously using my technical analysis. We remember in one of our videos, guys, we said that analysis involves us building a story. Forecasting is us understanding the story that we've built using analysis and coming to a conclusion with a directional bias and an identifiable call to action that will give us reason to first of all look at this trade, and then second of all our entry obviously would give us that reason to take the trade. So that's all we're doing, guys. Nice simple system that we've identified, that we've created for ourselves, that we follow consistently for consistent results. Let's go on to New Zealand dollar CAD, guys. We'll go up to the daily for this pair and we'll notice how New Zealand dollar CAD and Aussie CAD are kind of similar with regards to their structure. So I feel like there's no real need for us to be on the daily, because I guess structure is still pretty much the same. We still do have this important structural area over here, important support that prices have came and tapped into, and then we are seeing obviously a reaction. We also do have, and we'll notice this more on the 4-hour, prices descending towards higher time frame support. So let's go up to the 4-hour, or down to the 4-hour rather, and discuss our most recent price action. So what we do see here on New Zealand dollar CAD, guys, is a market that has been descending obviously towards our higher time frame support structures. We then see this nice reversal structure here, nice continuation, sending prices up, obviously also violating our descending trend line and the structure that we were isolating for some reference for our bullish momentum. So guys, we have seen the violation. We have seen, I guess, our prices are at this retest of structure. What we can also notice is that these are previous resistance areas that prices have broken nice and impulsively and now could function as support, pushing prices higher. So we do know that NZDCAD is at an important area where we should be looking for those buying opportunities. Also, in addition, what we do see about the candlestick formations here is that there's a nice, beautiful, bearish engulfing candlestick. So we are seeing prices impulsing on a smaller time frame towards an area where we could potentially be looking for buying opportunities. Now, with that being said, let's exercise patience. First trading opportunity that we could be looking for on New Zealand dollar CAD is for us to see a reversal structure at this important swap area or important previous resistance that could function as support. So we are looking for a reaction and a reason for entry at this previous structural area here. Reason why I said we are going to exercise patience is because with regards to our smaller time frame structure, what we do have is a nice, beautiful double bottom structure that has sent prices to the upside. So this is the neckline of our double bottom structure, and we could see prices basically coming into this area, testing the neckline, and then making a move to the upside. Now, regardless of how the market gives us this trading opportunity, we are going to be bullish bias, obviously, because of all of the reasons that we've established, the story that we've built, obviously doing our analysis or going through our process of analysis. Now we have a forecast or a conclusion with a directional bias, and now we know obviously the areas where we would like to take this trading opportunity, and we also understand that we should be waiting for this identifiable call to action that will give us reason to begin to look at New Zealand dollar CAD for a bullish trading opportunity. So guys, let's wait on New Zealand dollar CAD to either reverse from these previous resistance areas that have been broken, which is also the retest of this descending trend line, or we'll wait to see prices come further, give us a deeper pullback, obviously an opportunity to get involved in a trade with better risk to reward ratios to obviously our 90% rule of the structure. So if we do pull lower, we'll have better risk to reward ratios to be able to ride this trade obviously to these areas over there. And in addition, guys, we will have higher probabilities because we are buying lower for one, and we also are buying at our previous resistance areas that obviously were the neckline of our double bottom structure and could function as support. So with all of these reasons, guys, we are bullish bias over the course of next week on New Zealand dollar CAD, waiting for prices to give us that buying opportunity, obviously reasons to enter that will align in the confluences or in the direction that we have with all of the confluences in addition. And that's the bullish bias on NZDCAD, guys. Let's go on to New Zealand dollar JPY. We'll also start off on the daily, just so that I can show you guys how similar the structure looks to Australian dollar yen, and then how similar our bias will be as well. So what we do have here on New Zealand dollar JPY is a market that has been correcting to the upside. We've then seen a nice violation of price to the downside, not like Australian dollar JPY, not obviously giving us a new low from the beginning of the corrective structure, but nonetheless violating all of these lower structures in between and showing us nice momentum to the downside. So with that being said, we know that momentum is to the downside based off all of this higher time frame structure over there. These are previous support structures, obviously equal lows that were violated to the downside that we did expect market to react to, but obviously market has not reacted to. Prices are coming just a little bit higher. So what we can observe obviously from a daily is this last bullish candlestick here before this move to the downside is obviously the origin of all of this momentum. So we can expect prices to terminate anywhere within this green candlestick. So speaking about, or rather mentioning a sort of smart money concept, is that prices can terminate anywhere within this area and can and do obviously are bearish as long as prices do not close above these structural highs here. So I will be bearish bias on New Zealand dollar CAD, especially from a higher time frame perspective, as long as we remain below these higher structures over there. Obviously there is going to be an I guess an opportunity to buy this market, because one could argue that there's a nice inverse head and shoulders that might form over here from a daily perspective, but because we are seeing that sell side momentum, we're kind of not going to be interested, or not as interested in buying this market than we will be in selling this market. Now, just like Australian dollar yen, price has obviously created tons of imbalances on this move to the downside, and then has closed those imbalances by this move to the upside, and in doing so has created more imbalance within this area and more imbalance over there. So we know that prices are going to be at some point in time in the future attracted to close or at least balance out all of these imbalances that we've created on this move to the upside. Now, looking at structure looks very similar to Australian dollar yen. We are seeing prices decelerating towards our resistance areas. Now, that's exactly what we want to see. Now, over the course of next week, guys, we're going to be really paying attention to the price action on this pair. So let's just accommodate for the most recent price action over there. And then what we'll do, guys, is what I'm going to do for myself here on New Zealand dollar CAD, New Zealand dollar JPY, sorry about that, is I'm going to be looking for an opportunity to sell as high as possible. So what I want to see here from this pair, guys, is for this pair to give me an opportunity to sell high. What do I mean by that? We have some structure, over there, we have some resistance. I want to see prices violate that resistance and then break back into structure, giving me a trade to the downside. I want to see prices giving me an opportunity to sell up high, whether that opportunity comes in the form of a double top structure. Regardless of what, I honestly want to be able to sell high, because I do know that this is a nice important support structure over there, and if prices do violate this I guess ascending trend line and then give me a nice retest, I will have to manage my position by the time I get to this important support structure over there. So not really a lot of risk to reward ratio, or a good opportunity for us to actually let our winners run. So what I would like to do is for us to be able to find an opportunity to sell as high as price will allow us. So let's focus our eyes, or let's use our eyes, and let's focus our attention on finding, I guess, larger reversal structures or higher time frame reversal structures, and not focus on the H1 reversal structures. If H1 does impulse to the downside, guys, and we do see a nice corrective structure, that will be our reason to enter this trade. So nonetheless, looking for those sell biased opportunities on New Zealand dollar JPY, guys. We are not looking to buy this pair. We've seen the momentum. We want to trade in the direction of that momentum. We just need to wait for structure to give us a reason to sell in the direction of our directional bias. Now, guys, we have reached the end of today's analysis. Hopefully you guys have received the value that was intended for you guys within this analysis. Try to make it as educational as possible while still giving you guys the outlook that we are going to take on these pairs for next week. Now, if you have received the value, drop this video a like. Let us know that we are sharing valuable content. Otherwise, if you're not subscribed to the channel, definitely do subscribe. I will appreciate it, guys. This is Tremaine, your FX Chasers mentor. Thanks for watching till the end of this video, and I will see you guys in our future videos. Cheers.